Hi everyone, it's Varush. Welcome to my channel. We're going to talk about the North Node and Sun today. They're forming a conjunction from Sunday to Monday in Pacific time. So if you're on the far reaches of the earth from me in Asia, then it'll be Monday to Tuesday for you. Don't worry, you can watch this whenever you like. This is not time sensitive for you to watch. This energy is going to begin to grow now for the next 20 years. So we have a lot of time to kind of sit back and think about what it represents. So I'm going to go through some of the main themes of this conjunction. Maybe you can write some down that resonate for you. And then we're going to do an all sign reading for every single sign. This conjunction is beautiful. The Sun joins the North Node about once a year. And so it's exciting when they join. It brings us clarity of vision. The North Node represents our path forward in a more archetypal or spiritual sense, whereas the Sun brings insight, vision, and specificity to the things that may be like an ambiguous path in our life. So it's a beautiful conjunction. I look forward to every time. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's been very cold in Canada until now, and this is not typical, and suddenly the sun came out and it's finally seasonal warm, and so it's beautiful. It's a sign that this energy is very positive. The astrology of this is just beautiful, so I really wanted to come out and show you all, and why don't we just get into it? And so it's a good idea for you to write down any sort of information that is resonant for you. Very likely this is a pattern that's beginning for you, that's going to grow and develop. And so if you write the information down now, if you write yourself a note, then you'll see these patterns come through, and then you live more aware moving forward. So it's a very special moment. This conjunction is affecting the most if you have 4-degree placements in Taurus, of course, because that's where the conjunction is, at 4 degrees of Taurus, give or take a few degrees. It's also affecting anyone who has 4-degree Scorpio placements, plus or minus a few degrees. And then if you have 4-degree Sagittarius or Gemini placements, that's also a very significant transit in this chart right now. So pay attention. And it can be any transit, the sun, the moon, the rising sign. Why don't I tell you some of the biggest transits and what they may feel like before we get into it? If your sun is in one of these positions, it's a bright beam of awareness. It's a very powerful moment of awareness for you. Something is coming into sharp focus. If it's the moon, it's an awareness on the inside, an emotional awareness. So with the sun, you're looking at something that's happening in your life externally. You're observing something manifest. Something is crystal clear about your outside world. The awareness of the moon is very internal, and so within your heart, you're understanding some very significant message about your life or what it represents. So you want to be watching for your thoughts or your emotions about how you feel about things, because you will tap in very deep today. If you do meditation, then this is a good day for meditation. If it's your rising sign in one of these positions, then also something is just coming, and those of you who have rising signs in these positions, you're probably most likely seeing something emerge at this time. So this is more of like the timing or the physical act of emergence. The sun is, it's a little bit of a nuance. The sun is the general trend of what's going on, whereas with the rising sign, you're going to see more of an emergence. If any of these positions are at your North Node, this is signaling a huge cycle beginning. And if it's at your IC, it probably has a lot to do with your past. So if it's on your descendant, then pay attention to the people around you and the messages that they're bringing to you. And if your North Node is in any of these positions, then pay attention, because they're insightful and giving you powerful insight, depending on which one it is. The North Node is kind of more confusing, because if your North Node is in Scorpio at 4 degrees, you're really talking about the past, right? But if your North Node is here, my gosh, you're having a big day of awareness. And then if you have a North Node here, something also is coming through for you in a very big way, big awareness, something is really being pushed through. But here in Sagittarius, it's a combination of your emotions and yourself, your identity. So you're having this combination of the inside and outside coming together in some way. So an external event is likely happening for you. And here there's something in Gemini. If you have a 4-degree Gemini placement, it's likely that something is kind of a catalyst event. Some kind of catalyst event is pushing your life in a particular direction at this time. No matter what placement, I just mentioned some of the big ones, but no matter what placement you have in these positions, it's significant. If you don't have a placement in those positions, this is also significant. So I thought I would throw that in. You guys always ask me. So now I like going through the major themes before we get into the astrology. So let's go over the themes, and this is where you want to pay attention and see what resonates. So we have purity, the true expression of the self. This is a very, very beautiful position of everything in Aries is sort of very explicit. And I know this conjunction is at 4 degrees Taurus. However, it's in the constellation of Aries. So that's why I'm saying Aries. So it's very explicit, very matter of fact, very literal. The proof is in the pudding. It's very right in front of you. And when we say purity, it's not some, misogynistic, archetypal kind of messaging. It's purity of the self and purity of your intention. It's like non-religious kind of statement. What is your baseline? What is the thing that you truly are within yourself? Okay, so let's go on to the second one. So, of course, the North Node and the Sun always really marks a path before you. It's almost like a spotlight. Imagine walking down a dark path, and suddenly the sun beams through the clouds, and there's a spotlight in front of you showing you and reinforcing the path you're already on, and really seeing where you're going. There's huge energy here of the divine mind and connection to higher sources. We'll get into that in a minute. And also, this is the power of creation and change. So it's a very, very special position. A lot of the events there's a reason Pisces is so venerated, and also Aries, and it's because there's a lot of energies here that coincide with the formation of reality, the formation of our lives, and all of these different aspects of experience. Okay, so it's the power of creation and change here. We'll get into that in a minute. This is a major position of perseverance. So on this day, as the sun is with the North Node, you are seeing reinvigoration of purpose in your life. You may have felt very down in the dumps for a while, and as the sun joins with the North Node, you might be really waking up. This is one of these positions that's considered the new year, so I'll explain that in a minute as well. And then also there's a couple different interpretations based on specific types of astrology, specifically like different cultures interpreted this position in different ways. For Persian astrology, this was closely associated with protection. That reinforces the energy of the North Node and the sun together. Sun is protecting your path ahead. So it's very beautiful here. And in Arabic astrology, it's the mark of the warrior. So there's a lot of images here of, the hero kind of image. So that's beautiful. We'll talk about Arabic astrology a bit more in a minute. So you may feel if you feel, so on the one hand, most of us should be feeling reinvigoration. The sun is out, it looks beautiful, all of these things. But you may also be feeling very bruised, like you've just been through a huge journey. You may be feeling like there's wounds and like things that are heavy for you. If that's the case, it's very likely that this is a past life memory that coincides with past incantations of moments when you were a warrior, when you were in some kind of very, very assertive or very dominant sort of experience in which you had to fight to survive or stand up for yourself in a physical way. So if you're actually feeling bruised and battered, then it could be a memory. That's why it's kind of haunting you this way. So there's a lot of symbols here involving the twins. Twin imagery is really strong in this area of the chart, everything from Pisces to Gemini. So this is going to be something you hear a lot. But here we have the two pairs. We have also two messages could be coming in. There could be duality, which means that in your life you could see two people arrive in front of you at this time, presenting meaningful messages or saying something to you that's significant. So make sure that you're paying attention to what those messages are. Okay. So there's a feeling here because of the warrior aspect, and it's not just Arabic astrology that expresses that, but Arabic astrology, you'll see, has the most kind of strong emphasis on warriorhood here. But there's this feelings of willingness to take chances. And because it's so tied into our collective past life memories or our collective like humanity's history, right? You want to be very careful with being too aggressive or taking too big of a chance. You may feel like you can take anything on because, you know, somewhere in a past life you fought off a lion with your bare hands, you know, but it may not be the appropriate reaction here. This is a memory that could be influencing your current vibe, and you could be approaching things with a little bit too much aggression. So make sure if you're feeling that's where it could be coming from. There's a huge element here of psychic visions. So this position, there could be a lot of psychic visions, but specifically talking in your sleep. So if you're sleeping and you could record yourself tonight, see if you say anything in your sleep that's very significant. I know we can't go back in time, but this might be a good activity. Try it tonight and see what's coming through. Some of you might be feeling like there's there's like a thought or an idea or an awareness you're on the edge of something. So you're not quite having a vision, but you sense that there's something there. So if you're experiencing that, don't worry. That is a process of awareness. So you're getting close to something, and usually pushing into that you yield resistance. It's much better to take a shower. Showers have this ability to open us up and help us relax. So take a shower, and not a cold shower, a comfortable shower, and see what comes, or get into, or a walk or something, and just rather than pushing into trying to get the awareness that's coming to you, try to sit back and let it come to you, let it flow. Okay. So the universe may be sending you messages. The bigger the message and the less versed you are in receiving messages from the universe, the less you do it, the more it's going to feel like a blockage. The more you do it, and the smaller the message is, the easier it is to interpret and understand. So if you're feeling that blockage, it's totally normal. And I get blockages like all the time, and most people do in this way. So if you're getting like a message or insight and you're feeling like overwhelmed because you're new to this, to paying attention to your awareness or intuition, then relax. It's just a sign that it's going to find its way through, and you're going to do much better by relaxing and allowing like your natural intuition to find its way through to figure this out. So that's what I would say about that. There's huge images. Being Taurus, the sign of Taurus, we have the imagery of fruit and abundance, lush environment. So we're really seeing yields here, good outcomes. There's this quietude too. So try to get into a quiet space and feel that quiet. The most beautiful thing about this conjunction in the specific spot, so the conjunction itself means one thing, but I'm speaking about 4 degrees Taurus, is that there's a promise of abundance here. So the fact that the North Node is joining with the Sun, they don't join together in this degree every year. This is, it's rare. And so the conjunction between the Sun and North Node and Taurus happens once every 20 years or so. It's a little less, but anyway, so the fact that it's happening here at this 4 degree is significant, and this is a promise of abundance. So if you're listening, if you're trying to figure out your life and figure out a path forward, this is a really good time to start. This is a really good time to set forward, and it says that there's luck at the end of your journey should you follow through. So that's the general gist of the astrology without the astrology. But now let me explain where it's coming from. I'm not going to explain everything because it gets really long, but that's kind of 16 minutes just to see. It's better if I just tell you what the main energies are, and then we'll mention some of the astrology so you can see it, and then we'll get into the all sign. Okay. So those are the themes. I just summarized the major themes of the North Node with the Sun and 4 degrees of Taurus. But here is a special position because there is a fixed star here called Sheratan. And this Sheratan star is in Taurus, but in sidereal Aries. Okay. Okay, you're with me. And it's been in this position for a couple hundred years in Taurus, but it was actually in Aries before. And this is a fixed star that is kind of got energy of Aries and Pisces. Without going way over your head, the star, so there's the precession of the equinox, right, which changes the astrology between sidereal and Western astrology, but then there's also precession of the stars. That's a different thing. So the stars move outside of the precession of the equinox. So you know how you switch your sign between sidereal Vedic astrology and Western traditional astrology? Stars too have a precession. So these stars actually have moved significant amounts of space since they were identified and named, depending on when they were named and identified. Sheratan was really coined about 200 BCE, so before the Common Era, and so it's now in Taurus, and it takes on the properties, this dual nature, this twin capacity, as it's really a cusper. It's a cusp of Aries and Pisces. So we hear Pisces for the last time for this year, but Pisces is a huge constellation. That's why there's so much reference to them. The other thing astrologically that we're looking at here, and this is probably my favorite kind of feature or new geometry of the astrology today, and that is the moon in Cancer, because the moon is in Cancer right now, and it's heading into a perfect sextile with the Sun and the North Node. And so this sextiles are wonderful energies, and so this brings, when I was mentioning Sagittarius, this creates a yod onto anyone who has placements at 4 degrees Sagittarius, or this is a focal point if you have any placement at 4 degrees Gemini. So it's this sextile between the moon and this position that's significant. Those of you who know a little astrology, what's special about the first couple degrees of Taurus? It's because the moon has its exaltation point at 3 degrees Taurus. The moon is exalted in Taurus as the sign, but every single transiting body has 1 degree in the zodiac in which it's exalted, and for the moon it's 3 degrees of Taurus. So we're just 1 degree. We're within we're within 1 degree, or maybe just over, but still it's a very tight orb to where the moon is exalted, right? So that's beautiful. And the moon is sextiling this position. So there's this real practical, physical element to everything that we've discussed so far. And then there's the emotional tuning in. So it's a real point of awareness today. And today's reading for the all sign is going to be about that. It's kind of like a look as to where things are going for you. So it's hopefully a message for the next 20 years or sets you on the right path, okay? So that's my favorite sort of alignment. And so what happens is there's a formation, astrological formation called a yod. So if you have a placement here at 4 degrees of Sagittarius, this sextile between the moon and the north node is hitting that position precisely. And so that means that you should be having some really big life event or big awareness coming through. If you're not clear on what that is, look for it, because it should be coming up. And if you have a Gemini placement at 4 degrees, there's something that is a catalyst that's working behind the scenes, because this is the midpoint between the sun and the north node and the moon today. So tonight, overnight to the 25th, very beautiful energy. If you're watching this after, just look back on these days and see what was significant. Tune into that energy on an emotional level. Our emotions are really the guidance. If we can really tune into our emotions and learn to listen to them, they will tell you things more frankly and truthfully than your reason will. So such things as, do you like someone? Or if you feel uncomfortable around someone, it's usually your emotions that are telling you first. So listen with your emotions to this one, and you'll have this awareness of which way things are going and what's going on. So that's my favorite. So this position here, so Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is in Gemini, and also it is the more modern ruler of the first decan of Taurus. Venus is not in a particularly strong aspect to this position at this time. There's not particularly heavy aspects on Venus, so it's just an observance. Venus in Gemini is a kind of mental awareness of what's going on in our heart, kind of easy breezy and easy peasy squeezy and happy kind of look at what's going on. So you have this keen awareness. I do think of Venus as Gemini, very sharp observation of what's going on, but also sort of lighthearted. So everything that's happening to you isn't so heavy today, hopefully, and everything that is coming through is with some kind of potent messages. But I think Mercury is really interesting here, because Mercury is the first decan ruler of Taurus, so the area in which the conjunction is happening. And so Mercury is, of course, retrograde in Taurus and will be for the rest of the month. And then it's also creating a sextile to Mars, which is in Cancer. So again, there's these elements of Mars in Cancer is kind of powerful conversations may be happening for you at this time, in which someone is communicating things to you quite softly. They may communicate things to you so softly that in the moment you don't realize what they're saying, and then after you'll see the significance of what was said. And so with Mercury retrograde, of course, this has us thinking back and referring to the past. And so maybe you're growing into awareness about something of the past, getting a sense to an opportunity to sort of rethink things through in the past in some way, kind of renegotiate. Other aspects that are important to recognize today is that it's also a sextile to Saturn. The north node with the sun is sextiling to Saturn. This to me is actually very balanced and positive, because what's happening here is that there is a very systemic or systematic way that you can move forward. And because Saturn is in Pisces, Moon is in Cancer, South Node is in Scorpio, it's locked in on our emotions, which means tune into your emotions, and then you'll really find a path moving forward. To add to this, as the moon moves into Cancer overnight a little bit more, we get this grand trine between Saturn, South Node, and the moon, which means, and thinking of Mercury retrograde sextiling Mars, we have this moment, awareness of the past, awareness of how things have gone in the past, and where we want to move forward. So it's a very, very supportive, very helpful, I like this a lot, type of energy. So that's it. Well, I did want to acknowledge, let's see, I really like that placement. Hold on. Sextile moon, right. Okay. I didn't write this down, but of course Pluto is in a midpoint between the nodes, and so that's in itself significant because it's a starting off point for a major cycle. However, it's still 4 degrees off, and for an outer planet transit like Pluto, I would consider that to be a wide kind of orb, but that's, you know, it's already affecting us, but it's not so specific. So I think what's happening with the inner planets a bit more is more salient or more resonant for us at this time. I wanted to bring, before we move on to the all sign reading, I wanted to bring awareness to some of the timelines concerning this. So this conjunction happens once a year. It's a little bit less than that. Next year on March 28th or so, at the end of March, beginning of April, there'll be another conjunction between the Sun and the North Node. However, this conjunction is going to be in the sign of Aries at 15 degrees, where Chiron is right now. And that's significant because you may want to make sure that you're paying attention to the Chiron Jupiter cycle video. I'll post it in the description. That cycle has begun, and that conjunction next year in March is going to coincide with that conjunction. So if you pay attention now, if you watch that video now, and if you refer back to it as the energy is preparing itself, then you'll be much more attuned to what's happening next year when the conjunction happens. What's more is the astrology over the next 10 years is very dense. You may have heard about it for some degree already. I've mentioned as well. The astrology is very dense, and this is going to be a decade of massive change around the world. I'm very, as you guys know, I've been very cautious to tell you specific things, and I'm kind of side-eyeing a lot of the predictions that people are making. I think they're eager to say something about it, but I think a lot's up in the air, and I hope it's going to be for good things. In reality, these are high frequency aspects that are going to be formed over the next 10 years, and they're all in sequence, and that's what's really important. And that will produce extremes in positive, but also possibility extreme in bad. And that's why it's always just a friendly reminder, be careful what you're feeding into, because we don't want to be freaking out about one thing over here, whereas something else happens. We want to be very open-minded through this and not create the problem by focusing on something or willing it into being or setting our intentions into one thing. We want to be receptive here, not prescriptive. Okay, so the next conjunction in March 28th or so, beginning of April 2024, is going to coincide with the Jupiter Chiron cycle that is going to span the next decade until 2032 or 2034. And so if you want to figure out what's happening for you in that next 10 years, watch the Jupiter Chiron conjunction cycle beginning, and then pay attention to from now until next year and see what's beginning. When that conjunction happens, that energy will initiate. So this is kind of your homework as you're getting ready for it. So that's because Chiron this conjunction will happen at 15 degrees of Aries, and the conjunction between Jupiter and Chiron was within 1 degree of that, so it's all tied into one energy or overlapping energies. The other thing, the next time the North Node and the Sun join together in Taurus is 2041, so it's 20 years from now, and it's on May 1st. This will be in the middle of the sign where Mercury is here. In some ways, this is a 20-year cycle that's beginning, and so it will continue until 2041, and things that begin now will proliferate like dominoes, one affecting the other. In 2041, Pluto, that has just entered Aquarius, will be at the 28th, almost at the 29th degree of Aquarius. Pluto's transit through Aquarius is one of the longest transits it has, so it's going to be a full nearly 20 years before Pluto is through this sign. And so the next time we see this conjunction, we have this timeline of 2041 when Pluto will be about to exit Aquarius. Okay, and one more thing. The last time this conjunction happened in Taurus was in 2003-2004, and if you watched my new moon eclipse video, I pointed out that there was a 29th degree Aries eclipse at that time, and it coincided with a lot of geopolitics, specifically for Germany, but also for the United States and the Middle East. And so this conjunction at this time coincides by date 2004 to that eclipse. And so we've just had an eclipse again at 29 degrees Aries. And so pushing forward, this is where Hitler had his son at about, I think, 1 degree of Taurus. There's a lot of interesting things going on here, and they're historical, going back to the 16th century. So if you're interested in looking at it from that perspective, you should probably take a look at that eclipse video again. It was a very dense video, hard to explain everything all at once, but particularly my comments about Germany were very important, and I couldn't emphasize more about its history, about the 30 Years' War, and how that connected with these series of eclipses in Aries that had continued right until 2004 and 2023. And that's the end of eclipses, solar eclipses in Aries in this part. So watch that if you want to know more. And so yeah, I was going to talk about this fixed star more, but I think I gave you guys a good summary of what's going on, and I hope that gives you an idea of how things are going and what's up. So maybe we can do the all sign reading now, and let me know if you have questions. I'm very open to you guys having a question, or somebody, or a few of you, especially with the video for Aries, a few of you were really engaged with the historical aspect of it and left me comments. Thank you for that. So just, if something comes to mind, feel free to ask. Okay, so we'll start off with Cancer. Hey Cancer, let's take a look at your astrology. So the intention of today's video is to give you an idea of what that North Node with the Sun represents in your chart. Okay, so for Cancer, this is happening in your 11th house. I think friends, beginning new cycles with friends after Pluto has been in your 7th house for so long, it's going to be the marker of the next couple decades for you. So that doesn't mean you'll keep the same friends through the whole time, but whatever's going to be happening with your friends is very important. It's like the flood coming in, like friends coming in. There's Hierophant, that's Taurus energy. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people wanting your attention, and this is energetic. So it could be because you're more available, but it's also because they sense it. Human animals, right? We sense things about each other's lives. We have the Four of Cups. There's definitely solicitations. There's definitely offers, Cancer, for your attention. Sun, very good blessing. The Hierophant for me tells me that you have a lot of lived experience, King of Rods, and you're very discerning about who you spend time with. So I think anybody who you're letting in at this time, you're going to be very, very selective with those people at this time. King of Rods could be someone that you end up with a profound connection with, but this can also suggest that's you knowing exactly what you need from other people. And so this North Node Sun conjunction in your 11th house is suggesting that maybe this is a time to really focus on like who you're keeping close and who you're letting in. Because of that focal point in Sagittarius that I mentioned before, you may want to also be aware of how other people's presence in your life is affecting your time, like how much time you have for things or how much time you have to relax and so forth. Okay, so let's see the next message. We have Leo. Hey Leo, how's it going? So this is going to make you feel much better. This transit is very good for Leo placements. It's going to kind of activate things and make you feel much more present in your everyday life. The conjunction is happening right at your MC. So this is significant. Of that 20-year cycle, 1-year cycle, whatever, you're getting a very clear path ahead in terms of what you need to do, about where you need to go, about what kind of new beginnings you have ahead. Remember, it's not one thing that's going to happen. It's going to accumulate up for you from this position. So we have Ace of Pentacles. I like this. This signals new financial opportunities, new work, making money, and so forth, new ways. We have the Empress. This could be connected with your mother, sister, wife, a strong feminine energy in your life, or maybe your role as a mother becomes very significant, a new beginning. For some of you, this could be a pregnancy announcement. So congratulations if you're pregnant. Congratulations if that's where you are going with life. New role as a wife, new role as a mother, new role with a wife, new role with your mother, with a mother, with the mother of your children. But there's a very strong positive energy. And in some ways, the conjunction being so close to your MC is one of the most significant placements. If you have Leo placements, this is most significant out of all the signs. We have the Five of Pentacles, worry in the past, that was affecting your ability to move forward. There's also a sign here that people hold back out of fear, or people who have held back in the past out of fear of not having enough resources. And, not saying that they don't have enough resources, but holding back. But look, we have the Lovers in the outcome. This reminds me of I showed you guys the Yod. So we had the 4-degree placement for the 11th house. So this is like the company you keep, Leo. The company you keep is going to in some way facilitate this or combine with this energy and help you to move forward. Now, the 5th house is the Leo house, right? So in your chart, it's Sagittarius, but the focal point is here. And you guys know the 5th house is my favorite house in astrology. I just love it. I think it's like the best house ever. And especially for a Leo, because it's the house of the sun. It's the house of Leo. It's the house of just pure will and pure divine drive to get you to where you want to go, and self-awareness. So be in the moment, Leo, here. Step into yourself. This energy here is saying that in the past you may have felt not oppression or repression, but a stagnation, or not willing to move forward with things so quickly. But now it's feeling like things are really moving ahead. And you don't have to rush with this. This is just a beginning energy. So look, and you're going to have nice messages. 8 of Rods. Messages of love are coming towards you. That's good. Yes, girl. Yes. Meow, meow, Leo. Okay, so now we have Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's take a look at your placements next. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. So you're not too shabby either if you're watching the whole thing. Leo just had the conjunction at their MC. You're having it on the cusp of the 9th house. This is really significant for you because Uranus in your 9th house in Taurus is so important for you, Virgo, for the next several years. It's just giving you innovation. It's giving you the ability to change up your life to a very like a positive side to things, reinvigorate the way you do things. And so the North Node with the Sun is going to give you the energy to be able to do that. Let's see the cards associated with this. So let's see. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. See, your journey's up ahead. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Secondary transits in air, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. Those are just general guidance observations. Cancer, the Chariot. And the World card. Ooh, Jupiter. Okay, so, and fixed sign energy. Then we have Scorpio energy, signaling a change. So you may have 9 of Pentacles. This is stepping into your power, finally having the ability to move forward. This could be cutting loose ends to things that don't work well, and a good outcome ahead. 4 of Wands. Very, very nice cards, Virgo. I really get the energy here for you that you're moving ahead in some direction right here with the North Node and the Sun. It's time to move your life ahead with this energy, and it feels as though there have been blockages or things in the way from you being able to do what you want to do fully. But I think here, possibly with a change that you initiate, you're going to overcome. The Chariot here is significant because if something has been affecting your mind to the point that you can't really think yourself around a problem or a situation, you're going to find a solution here, and the world's opening itself up. It's a big blessing with the Sun and the North Node. Okay, and so bring our attention to 4 degrees of Sagittarius. We have the 4th house, and so this is personal. This is like something that you create from within yourself. Something from the outside world may be directing you, but I don't think that you're opening up to the world, but it's really self-driven, self-motivated. It might be something that you have put a lot of work in a private space into, so something that you've worked on quite a lot for a good outcome. So Virgos, step it up. It's going to be great. Okay, so let's see the next message. We have Sagittarius next, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's take a look at Sagittarius. So hopefully you watch the intro, Sag, because if you have 4 degrees Sag placements, this is one of the most significant positions for this conjunction. It's in synchronicity with the moon. It's in synchronicity with the Sun and the North Node. So it's really good for your placements if you have anything from the last few degrees of Scorpio until the first 5-6 degrees of Sagittarius. Okay, so all of Sag is good, but especially those of you who have those placements. So we have King of Cups first, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Something's truly within your heart. And then 3 of Cups. I'm really getting that someone is motivating you to change, especially a love interest or a partner, somebody you care a lot about is motivating change. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles, Mercury and Virgo. The energy's just lit here. It's so beautiful. And then we have the Fool, marking a new beginning. Sag, I'm getting a personal change that's motivated by your love for someone. You love someone so much that you're adopting a different way of dealing with things. You're seeing yourself in a different way. You're wanting to change the way that you do things. And then we have 7 of Swords. You're going to struggle with letting go of certain vices or letting go of certain things that hold you back, sometimes like, oh, I want to get really fit, I want to work out, but then like you get stuck on certain things and they keep on sucking you back into negativity. Or you say, hey, I want to be really positive, but there's certain prejudices that you hold in your mind and they suck you back into negativity. So I'm not saying you're getting sucked back in, but this is going to be a bit of a trial ahead. So you're making changes. This could be a reunion with someone with the 10 of Pentacles, someone who you know already very well. And your big challenge here is going to be for you to let go of the unconstructive ways of being that hold you back from this, because whatever you have going on is really good. The conjunction itself is in your 6th house. So yeah, things like, you know, you want to get really fit, but you like to sleep in every day. Well, that's going to be hard to do. Or, you know, you want to be really positive, but like you have a tendency to laugh at others behind their back. I'm not saying Sages, it's just some people do. And that's going to backfire too. So everybody has degrees of this. Not everybody's a jerk, like laughing behind people's backs, but we all have behaviors and tendencies that hold us back from the potential. So what I see here is a real big inspiration by someone who you love, someone with whom the past may have ended in the past, but now they're back in some way, and you get this new beginning. And so don't feel so bad about, we all have limitations. We all have things about us that are just heavy for us to deal with. And from the outside in, you may not think that other people have such burdens, but first person, it's always really hard, whatever a person's struggling with. So, you know, 7 of Swords, let those swords go and enjoy your life. This is your time to enjoy your life. But with the North Node Sun conjunction in the 6th house, really think about how you're enjoying it, or how you use your energy, how you use your time. Okay, so that's great, Sagittarius. Now let's move on to the next sign. We have Capricorn next, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's take a look at this conjunction for Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, hi Capricorn. Let's take a look at this conjunction for you. It's in the 5th house, which is a fun house. It's a great house. This is understanding of what you need in your life. Overall, I think Capricorn energy is having this big moment in general, like for several months or even the whole year, of this like, what I need. You're asking yourself a lot about what you need out of life, about the kind of experiences that are valuable for you, etc. So we have the 7 of Cups. This is Venus in Scorpio. And then we have the 3 of Rods. Okay, this is actually suggesting that you have some degree of wishful thinking, or you think the past may be better than what it was. You dramatize the past, or you think that it's better. Some of you might be thinking about an ex-partner and kind of having unclear thoughts, particularly if they are a woman. Unclear thoughts about that person. Your memories are warping what happened, and you're seeing either them in a negative light or a overly positive light, and it's misrepresenting where you stand. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, secondary transits in air, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. A big decision. Let's see, Capricorn. This is really the big message here that came through very immediately and strongly is that you can appreciate the past, but don't be haunted by it. Don't allow the past, or don't change the past with your wishful thinking. And then we have 6 of Swords. There's a moving on, making a decision, knowing which direction you want to go. This could be also concerning your mother. Everybody has their own issues, but if you have if you're haunted by the memory of your mother, or if there's something that's there in the background, you're really making a decision about that and moving forward. But especially if you feel as though the past, if you're longing for the past, or if you're missing the past, or you feel like something didn't go correctly, this is your time when you're letting that go and moving forward. This is also moving forward to be the best version of yourself, which is the Empress. So this is about stepping into the present moment. This could be becoming available for your present partner, or being available to a new relationship by letting something go. And the motivation here is the Knight of Pentacles, which is you. And so with the Knight of Pentacles, it's basically a very practical decision, like, this is taking too much time, this is not constructive use of my energy. Okay, so Capricorn, thank you for watching, and let's figure out the next sign. So we have Aquarius next. Hi Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's take a look at your astrology for the next little while. So this is not a rush or anything. For you, this is at the IC. That's so interesting that you're having this low frequency moment, and the conjunction is actually happening at this point. This is going to be incredibly healing to things in the past that have held you back. A difficult childhood especially. This is going to be freeing. This is going to help you, give you tools to deal with. Again, maybe not today, but it's starting and it's coming in. If you're particularly haunted by your past, especially childhood, this is a day in which you may want to make a list of all the things you want to change, or the things that you feel you're haunted by or controlled by in the past, okay? You know, so for example, I wish I wasn't so shy. So you write that down, and then you set that intention, or you identify the things about your experience that you wish would change. This is a good, and especially things in reference to those early experiences that shaped who you are. Okay, so let's see the next message. We have the Page of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, secondary transits in Earth. Then we have the Ten of Cups, which is, this is Jupiter in Pisces, right? Something in Pisces, Venus in Pisces. And then we have Mercury in Pisces. That's even better. So we have Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, secondary transits in water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Ooh, there's a lot of feminine energy. There's a lot of family. Knight of Swords. Look at all these people. You social person, you always have so many people around. Okay, so then we have the Empress. The Empress is coming through for so many people. So there's happiness and joy. There's people coming together. There's supportive energy for a relationship here. And this can feel like a family. This can feel like a group of friends. This can feel like friends bringing two people together. Like someone wants to be with another person, and the general group is supporting that, or supportive of that. This is also coming into your own through the relationships that you had that are very significant. So with the Empress here, it's you coming into the self, which is the North Node, as facilitated by the people you've known, especially family and friends, close friends, cousins, close relationships. Advice from other people. I get the sense that people are talking to one another, but not in a bad way, not in a destructive way, that are helping you. It's a very healing energy connected to your closest people, the people who are important to you. This is going to feel very good as Jupiter transits into Taurus in a little bit. And so that's going to really add to this energy. So pay attention for Jupiter and Taurus videos are coming up. Okay. So next is Taurus. Speaking of the devil. Okay. Speaking of the angel, rather. Taurus is the little angel. Okay. So let's see Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The conjunctions in the self. The last time it happened was 2004. There was one in 2003 and one in 2004. The next time it happens is 2041. So you do the math. And this is your kind of in this moment in the middle between the two conjunctions here. This is for you a powerful moment of self-awareness, Taurus, in the first house. The North Node and the Sun is clearly telling you about which way to go and the way forward, showing you the way forward. We have Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, secondary transits in water as well. Then we have the Three of Rods. Okay. Somebody's giving you powerful tools for reflection. You're having conversations with someone who's giving you insight. You're possibly thinking about someone in the past, someone who you loved a lot. This could be a man or a woman, but it is a queen, so you do with that what you will, whatever makes sense to you. You're in a pattern overall with the nodes being in your 1st and 7th house of letting go of certain relationship patterns. This is saying goodbye to old exes, in your heart. This is saying goodbye to the times before, or, memories of people that were very significant. And then I see you moving forward with more empowerment and more personal strength. We have the King of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. And we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is Venus in Virgo. And then we have the World card. So there's something really big opening up for you up ahead. This is a pit stop energy, which means that you have this, when you have different moments in your life, like you finish school or you do finish some work that you've done for a while, and then you sit back and you look back at your life and you're like, I've grown a lot in 5 years, or I've grown a lot in 10 years. This is one of these moments where you sit and assess and kind of think about the past. Here, this is you have really powerful things going on that are taking you in new directions. So whatever awareness this conjunction is bringing into your life, whatever you're letting go, is just really allowing for wealth, prosperity, and growth to enter into your life. The North Node, Pluto being at the top of the chart, is very significant, and especially with the nodes squaring Pluto right now, that's the midpoint. It really is a cycle beginning in your exterior life. Many Taurus type people, lots of different placements in Taurus, whatever placement you have that's significant, you're going to begin something big. You're going to begin some kind of outward, something in your life will begin that will be significant at this time. And it's not something that's going to last a day or two. This is huge patterns beginning. So set good intentions. You're coming at it with lots of physical strength. And I love the World card because it's suggesting this opening. There's a real receptivity to your energy from this position out. So Taurus, set your good intentions, say goodbye to the past. I do want to acknowledge that the King of Swords felt a little bit, nothing bad, but I felt wariness from you towards this person. Like this person interjected, spoke about a situation too fast, imposed themselves into something. And I think you're saying goodbye to that too. So this could mean someone butted in on a situation or affected your life a certain way by speaking up too much or putting their ideas or judging a situation. So you're letting go either of that person or the consequences that those actions had brought at this time. So this is a very self-assured conjunction for you in the North Node and the Sun, which means this is you're very true to self. You know what matters, and you're meant to go with that. Okay. So I love this conjunction. It's beautiful. And then we have Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Pisces, let's take a look at your energy for the conjunction with the Sun and the North Node. Now for you, this is the 3rd house. For Pisces in general, a lot is happening in your near environment. I sense there's 1 or 2 people near, maybe one love interest. I feel like you're distancing a lot from other people in your life. This is a general trend for Pisces. You're getting really tuned in with yourself at this time. You feel like you're usually very free with your time, which means like you're generous with your time for others. With the Saturn transit, I don't think you're going to be as open or generous for the next little while. I think you're going to be really focused on, the time cost of everything, like giving your time away for free and so forth. Then we have the Two of Swords. That's Moon in Libra. And then we have the Hermit, Virgo. You guys know that when I mentioned the signs, it's just a general kind of observation. Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It's very watery energy. And then we have the Knight of Rods, Sag, Leo, or Aries. Somebody is making quick decisions, and I think you're going to turn to maybe another water sign, or somebody's turning to you because someone around them is changing things a lot and quickly. We have the Nine of Cups, Jupiter in Pisces. And then we have the Ace of Swords. There's going to be a new communication, new outcome. So two people find stability with each other. This does feel more like a friendship. One supports the other. They come together and support each other. There's a very clear decision made about which direction you go. I think that you're working from a space of deep self-fulfillment, so you feel very fulfilled by everything that happened. There is a situation involving someone in which you're not seeing the true situation for what it is. That person has come and gone, or maybe in the process of leaving. This is not a serious situation. This is not someone... I feel maybe that you've gotten to a place where you trusted someone a little bit too much, and now they're not what they kind of have pretended to be. But it's kind of like brushing it off. Or for some of you, this could be your child, where your child's coming back after an experience with someone who was unstable or uncommitted. And so there's a real strong connection between you and someone else that's emerging through this. I think that there's a clear decision about what you need to do, or someone is bringing you news about someone being untrustworthy, and that makes you make your decision about how to handle the situation with that. So with this conjunction, this is all close to home. It's all very near to you. And remember what I said about Sag. This is at your MC, the 4 degrees in the intro, the astrology intro. This is really kind of highlighting the first degrees of Sag, which are at your MC. This is a necessary step that needs to happen to fill the overall change that you're going through at this time. And it's not like punitive. You don't feel bad about it. You feel inspired and good because there's priorities that you really want to highlight and take away from destructive energies, or you're too serious about something to treat it haphazardly, And so the people who are like, whatever, man, they won't see themselves as like being too easygoing. So it's up for you to define that boundary and say, hey, my time is being used, and this really actually means a lot to me, so I can't risk it. I can't risk it. I can't risk this situation. So determinative, it'll probably come in the form of communication in which you tell someone how it is, or you determine, or you write down, or you communicate in some way, your position on a situation, because you just don't. This could even be an employee, like someone who works for you and they're never on time. Something's inconsistent in a matter that's too important for you to keep up with. But it's not a huge deal. It's not heartbreak. It's not like your one and true love. It's someone you're dating at best, or a friend who keeps standing you up for hanging out. Things that may feel hurtful, but not things that are break it or make it in your life. Okay, next sign we have Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, and you always want to contextualize these things and be very specific so people don't think that a tower is coming in your life. Nobody got a tower so far. Aries, for you, this conjunction is in the 2nd house. Huge marker for money, so that you want to think back to 2003, 2004. That was the last time you had a conjunction in this area of the chart. The next one is in 2041. So this is a cycle of money for you that's beginning. So what happened in the last 18, 19 years with regard to money in your life? And a new cycle is beginning. This is, and to be true, in the astrology, I said that the next decade ahead is very dense astrology. A lot's going to be happening. And I think that with a lot of these things that will be happening will be affecting us financially. Okay. And these things that are happening that are affecting us financially, they are going to, the fact that it's a new moon, not new moon conjunction, the North Node conjunction here in your second house, that's very, very salient. So if you have Aries placements in the placements in Aries, this is hitting your second house. And so coinciding with this astrology that's going to affect all of us financially, you really want to pay attention to what's going on for you financially at this time, Aries. How are things working out? The next message is the Hierophant, which is Taurus. And then we have the King of Rods, Sag, Leo, or Aries, secondary transits in fire. And then we have the Nine of Rods. You're gaining a life lesson, and you're choosing to wait on a situation. You're definitely holding back right away on a situation. So maybe a financial situation has emerged for you and you're like, I'm just gonna go slow with this one. You're not quick with it. We have and that's your choice. You just feel like it's the timing. You want to get the timing right. Eight of Swords. There's complexity in the smart. You're making a smart move here. Smart move. It's like the math isn't mathing, so you have to figure out what you actually want to do in relation to everything. Then we have the Empress is coming up for everyone. That's Venus. Venus is in Gemini. Okay, so Venus is also ruling the sign of Taurus, and it rules the first decan of Taurus. So that's interesting. For you, that's the third house. I really feel like you're looking at a situation that involves money, or it wants you to spend money, and you're saying not now, because I think that you're holding back to see what else. And I think that that's the right choice. This is a very prescriptive reading, this specific one, but I think something better is coming up for you, or in the future you'll understand your reservation. So you're meant to follow that reservation. There's like lived experience. There's you've learned in the past that you should be cautious in this situation. And so you're going to exert caution. You're probably going to hold back. The situation isn't making sense to you, so you're very, very cautious, and you're deciding to wait until you understand it better, or until a better situation comes up, and you're going to take that path. It feels like somebody is pushing a lot of information in your direction, and it's just not making sense. So the comment, the math isn't mathing, is very on point for this energy here. Okay, so good luck with that, Aries. Let's see the next message. We have Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Libra, 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 Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have the conjunction in your 8th house. So change. This begins a new cycle for change and transformation. This will allow new things to enter into your life. You're probably letting go of some financial things that have you stuck in a certain type of position in life. Things like, you might sell something, or you may be selling something at this time in general, or like kind of getting rid of things so you have more breathing room. There's this really letting go for more flexibility here. We have the 8 of Rods. 8 of Rods, good messages coming in. Then we have the King, or the Knight of Rods, Sag, Leo, or Aries with a little bit of air, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. The Moon, the only time we got the Moon that's come out. Oh, There's a conversation with someone. You're going to ask someone some hard questions. And judging from this is they do have a secret. It does really, there is conversations, there is more to it than they have let you know. And especially with things involving money, this is about asking the right questions or asking very specific questions about something to get more clarity. We have the Page of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, secondary transits in Earth. You need to ask someone some questions. Justice is your card, Libra. It just feels like Queen of Cups. You're going to get to the bottom of a situation involving other people and money. And I do feel as though there could be someone who has misrepresented or given you partial information on a situation or circumstance. And I think that you've been denying yourself emotionally, Libra. You will, through this process, really feel much better. The only way that you can sustain the relationship with the money that you have now is by not asking certain questions, by turning a blind eye. But because your money's involved in this, you will be asking questions, and the things you've been avoiding, I'm not saying it's your fault, but there's something that's not adding up, and you've been complicit by avoiding it. You're like, let's not talk about it. And now it's a good thing to confront it, because then there's truth behind your reservations, or just something is different. I do think that there's a possibility that someone will return money to you at this time, especially if they've owed you for a while. Somebody's coming in to make fair, and you'll feel fulfilled by the outcome of the things that have happened. There is a good outcome for both situations, but it really feels as though you need to ask someone the right questions. If you've been feeling nervous, it's because you've been avoiding asking people with whom you share resources the right questions in order to build agreement with them, to be in agreement with them, whatever. And now you have to be in agreement with yourself, and that's your South Node transit kind of speaking up and saying you need to nurture yourself, clean out your environment, clean out who you spend time with and who you are kind of building solidarity with or teaming up with. Okay, so here is the next message. We have the Lovers, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Gemini. Hey, Gemini. So if you should watch the beginning, because I mentioned Gemini there. Surprisingly, this conjunction in Taurus that's in your 12th house is actually really motivated by something within you. Something in a relationship is coming to the surface with this conjunction. This is the subconscious that has found you in this place. Your relationship with someone is progressing. It's emerging. This is kind of the moment where you blur something out, and this could be like the catalyst. So in the astrology part, I mentioned that the first degrees of Gemini are a catalyst. So you blurt something out like you're with your friend, but you have a crush on them, and you just blurt something out, like, let's go get a movie. And then they're like, okay, let's go get a movie. And then suddenly that turns out into some kind of partnership. So there's some kind of a exchange that pushes a situation along. It doesn't have to be romance. It could be you kind of saying something out that's unexpected, and that being a catalyst to a partnership emerging. The partnership can be business or it can be love, but it's going to be whatever it is, it's very close, close-knit connection. Okay, so let's see the next message. So we have the Four of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Second transits, I don't know. We have the Nine of Pentacles, and then we have Mercury in Virgo. So Venus in Virgo, sorry. And then we have the Star. This is the only time the Star has come up. That's Aquarius. Doesn't have to mean Aquarius for you. You're on the precipice of some really, really nice big change, financial. This conjunction that leads to the 7th house for you, this could be a very solid business partnership. So it's not all just love and roses. We have the Hierophant, powerful lesson. Somebody's been teaching you powerful rules. We have the Knight of Rods, Sag, Leo, or Aries, secondary transit in air, and then the Death card, change, Scorpio energy. So I have a feeling that you're very unexpected too, an unexpected change. I think that you're on the precipice of something big in your life. I'm also getting the feeling that maybe at this time it's not a sign that you're coming together with someone, but suddenly that person does not make sense. That person suddenly is a problem. That person is suddenly, not a good vibe. You're getting a powerful lesson from someone else, so you could be cutting someone out in order to protect your good luck and the good things that are ahead of you. Because this conjunction is in the 12th house, more than anything else, if you have Gemini placements, don't judge what's happening. Just let it happen, because you're not going to be able to see it as clearly. The 12th house is the subconscious. And I know that there's a lot of content out there that says tap into your subconscious. They're talking about adjacent stuff, or maybe not directly this. You can't literally connect with your subconscious. That's why it's called the subconscious. And so on some level you can, like in certain types of meanings, but the subconscious is subconscious, like the id is subconscious, because it's not accessible. It's like the very low level programming of who you are. It doesn't make sense. So in this conjunction that's happening in the 12th house, don't get stuck on understanding. I do think that you have to protect your wealth. You have to protect your good success and good fortune. I do think that something may suddenly not make sense and you decide to separate yourself from that will be influenced by lived experience. I think you're getting some rest leading into this, Gemini, but it's going to be great, and it's going to find you in the right position of where you want to be in the 7th house, with better alignment and better friends and better people who are more on your team. That's your general overall energy for Gemini at this time, not just this one astrological event. Okay, so let's see the next Scorpio's last. Okay. Hi, Scorpio. Let's take a look at your astrology. I hope you guys had fun. This was fun for me to do. And the conjunction for you is on your descendant, Scorpio. So, hey, girl, hey. So look, like I said in the astrology, look to the external. Look to the messages that the external world is giving to you. So we have the 8 of Rods, Mercury in Sagittarius. And then we have the 8 of Swords, okay? And then we have the Saturn in Aquarius. And then we have 5 of Pentacles. Let's see, Scorpio. Then we have the 10 of Cups. And then we have the Page of Swords, Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, or Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, secondary placements. And then we have Queen of Cups, supportive energy. Well, it feels as though that there's limitations, financial limitations that are a factor right now. Either it's for you or someone who's around you. Because this is on the descendant, this may be in reference to the types of people that are around you, like things that are happening for them. I could sense that somebody has not enough resources and they want you, maybe not to help them, but for you to be their friend through that experience. So somehow you're drawn into somebody's experience who's going through life struggles around money. And I think that maybe it's a brother or a sister, and I think it's empowering. I do think that you're putting yourself towards this person in a meaningful way. And I think that there's going to be, this person's turning to you for help or understanding. Remember, this is a conjunction that's going to last until 2041. This is the last time it's happening in your 7th house for 19 years. This means that whatever cycle it begins in terms of partnerships, and the conjunction with the sun and the North Node is like brightly opening things up for you. As this conjunction is opening things up for you in partnerships, this is a part of a bigger story of helping your partners, helping your friends, being open-hearted, not judging people. I really take an issue when people say you should only be friends with like a high vibration. It's such a narcissistic piece of advice. It's like, are you friends with people because of what they can get you? Is that what you're focused on? Truly, you should not be focused on what people are, but the value of their character and the energy they bring. So this really feels like something to do. In other words, someone who may be very poor right now around you may turn out to be very rich. Or someone who never will have a lot of money turns out to give you a lot of love and care. These things are not linear. So this really looks like a life lesson that you're being put into. Pay attention to this person, it's saying, because something comes out of it. Personal enrichment, emotional understanding, personal growth. And this isn't like someone you shouldn't care about. This is some 10 of Cups, right? This is someone with whom you have a meaningful relationship with, whether it's a romantic relation. Don't take those relationships too lightly. Don't blow them off. And yes, they're turning to you, or you're turning to them, or there's like something that might be an uncomfortable situation for you guys to share in, but your participation in that kind of positions you into a lot of fulfillment as the outcome of it. So it's not going to be the same way. A situation is presenting itself with this conjunction, and it's marking the nature of your personal relationship. So how you react to that will be consequential to larger patterns in your life until 2041. So pay attention. I'm not heckling, but I'm just saying that, I got to speak from the heart and say what I see. You guys have a nice day. I hope you enjoyed the North Node with the Sun video. If you want to watch other videos, go in the description. There's more there. Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.